The last 10 years I invested a big part of my time and money in holistic health and personal development. And it was not out of fun or because I wanted to. I started on this journey because I had to. I needed to. And the reason I make this video is because maybe it can save some of you some time, energy and money to don't fall in the same trap or to don't make the same mistake. Like 11 years ago I was a complete mess. When I was 20 years old I was broke and completely broken. I was sick and tired of being myself, struggling for so many years with anxiety, stress disorder, alcohol and drug addiction, with a very toxic environment and quite some more health issues. And like I said, I was sick and tired of myself. I knew I had to change something now because I wouldn't have made it for much longer, I guess. That was when I made a really firm decision. I made the decision that I want to build a good relationship with myself. I wanted to heal myself, and I wanted to spend most of the time doing this, to heal myself, to study myself and to learn what I need to learn to change my life. But I had to make really very big sacrifices. I had to leave all my friends, all my family, everyone behind. And I also had to leave my country behind. And I don't want to tell you, if you want to change your life, you need to leave your country. That's not what I'm saying, but it was necessary for me. And I'm talking about in my other videos, I love to travel. I made a lot of good experiences while I was traveling as a child and with my family and as a young adult. But still, it was difficult for me to leave family and friends behind. Even it was a very toxic environment for me, but it felt familiar. At least I could calculate the risks. I could, yeah, I knew the potential danger, so it felt familiar. But I knew I wouldn't be able to spend all my time or most of my time studying, working on myself in my home country, because I simply didn't have the money. It was just too expensive. I live in Middle Europe, so in a very or quite expensive place, and just to buy a property or to rent something and to pay all the insurance stuff for your car, for your whatever house or apartment, for yourself, maybe for your crazy cat or dog, I don't know. It's just too expensive because I was not able anymore to work a normal job. There was already too much damage done on myself. I was completely out of order. And so I thought, okay, or I didn't thought anymore. It was an inner calling. It was definitely my intuition, an angel, God speaking directly to me. And he said, or it said to me, you have to leave now. That was the first time I remember at this age where I got such a clear message. Like, it's impossible not to hear it. So I tried to figure out how, and I combined my love for traveling or exploring other countries with leaving my country behind. And be able to invest all my time and money in myself. So I found a nice place in South America and I moved there. I made the decision, and 3 months after it, I was there. I sold everything. I lived in a great, great house, alone by myself in the woods, with everything you can imagine, with a big, big pond and deers and animals and my own vegetables. It was literally heaven on earth. And a part of me don't want it to leave, but I did it anyway. And so if you want to change your life in a profound way, if you want to get rid of bad habits or alcohol or drugs, it needs some dedication. It needs a great effort, a lot of energy. I will not lie, definitely. So leaving my country behind made it possible for me to invest nearly all my money I gained back in myself. When I didn't want it to work, I didn't work. I stayed wherever I was, and or even when it was necessary, I was living in my hammock. I didn't care. I did what feels right to me and to have the most time for me. So I studied so much about holistic health, how to balance my body, mind and soul, how to get into my subconscious mind and how to identify my traumas, which made all my limiting beliefs. I built my limiting beliefs out of traumas and bad relationships. So I started to identify it and I wanted to transform it. And long story short, I started to reprogram my subconscious mind, and I did it by telling myself a new story. But to tell yourself a new story, you need to remember who you are. You need to find a passion or something you want to do. You don't have to be scared. You don't need to do it your whole life. Your passion also can change over the years. It doesn't matter. But that was my journey, and therefore it was great to have had to go to other countries and to try so many different things, to leave my old identity behind, because I knew I had to leave my old self behind, my old identity. I knew that I cannot change the past. I can never change what happened to me. A part of me will always remember all the bad shit what happened to me. But what I can do is to look at myself with compassion and with understanding, so that I don't have to fall into this trap of all these limiting beliefs and all this negative self-talk and self-doubt and criticizing myself and hating on myself for the wrong decisions I made, or for not leaving toxic relationships earlier, or whatever it may is. So that was a crucial part for me, to learn to have compassion for myself, for my old self. It allowed me to distance myself from myself. Sounds crazy, I know, but in order to create literally a new identity, a new personality, I started to tell myself stories of abundance, of health and love and good relationships, and I started to imagine myself it, and I started to feel it as if it's already happening. So that's how you integrate it into your subconscious mind, you reprogram your subconscious mind, how you build your new identity. The thing is, the big thing, what maybe saves you some time if you really start to trust this process is you have to stay loyal to your new story. You cannot hop around because the thing is, if you start to tell yourself a new story of love, health, and abundance, your body will kick in. If you have health problems, your body will show you what the heck are you doing. We did this 20, 30, 50 years every day the same way, and now you tell me we will change that. So your body will send you a pain, problems, negative thoughts, self-doubt, self-criticism, all the good stuff, all the shit nobody likes. But it's a test. It's literally a test. You have to stay loyal to your new identity, to your new story. You have to fall in love with your future. And you have to stop romancing the past. We constantly romancing the past on an unconscious level. We tell ourselves the old story over and over and over and over again. And I know what I'm talking about. I'm definitely expert in it. I made the same mistake for 25 years. So, and the thing is, like I said, if you start something new, if you start to think new thoughts, if you start to behave and feel differently, your body will rebel maybe. And also, yeah, you will experience, if you try new things, there will be new challenges from life. And that's always, for me, it was always then self-doubt kicking in. Oh, I don't know if I can do it. I don't have enough money. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not whatever. And it was every time the same. I spent weeks, months, and years telling myself a new story, and at a certain point, sometimes I made it a long distance for like a year or 1.5 years, and then I had a big challenge, and this old self was creeping in. This old identity was coming back and told me, no, no, I told you, I knew it was gonna fail. I knew it. And I was back into my old program. And that's my message for today. I spent so many years making the same mistake over and over and over that I have something to share. I don't want anybody to make the same mistake. If you want to, or if someone needs to make the same mistake, it's totally fine. But I know there are people who searching for answers or looking for testimonies they want to know what's working and what's not working. And I can tell you, all what I'm talking about, you can do for free. I lived in a third world country for like over 5-6 years. With all my travelings for 8 years. And I managed to invest over $10,000 just in courses and in books and in trainings and in coaches, because I wanted it to know. But you don't have to spend $1. You can find everything on the internet, but the key essence is you have to stay loyal to yourself. And what I do now differently than back then, my old self still tries to creep in sometimes. But if I have this special thoughts of disbelief, of I'm not good enough, or just a lack of faith that I can do it, a lack of faith in God, in the universe, in myself, in whatever you believe, I notice it and I tell myself, okay, I know you, I already know you. I tell myself the wrong story. Maybe there is a better story I can tell myself. And over the years, I know, of course, there is a better story. I know my good story. And I start to, now it's a decision. It's a choice. I can choose. I can go back to misery every single day if I want. No problem. Absolutely the easiest shit. But I'm not forced. I'm not in a prison in there. I can go in, I can go out, but after all the time I spent, all the effort, and my old self is still here, but I don't identify with it. And if it comes back, I remind myself, okay, I know where this is going, and I choose consciously to tell myself a new story, because when I tell myself a new story, I start to feel it. I start to feel as if it's real. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between an imagination or a real life experience. And that's a huge thing. That's actually really great to manipulate yourself in a positive way instead of letting other institutions, other people, or whoever manipulate you with the same strategy. So we can use their weapons for ourselves, but it's not their weapons, it's universal law. That's a universal law. So, my friends, like I said, just remind yourself is if self doubt is, because the thing is, don't allow negativity, your negative thoughts, your disbelief, your self doubt destroy your progress. It doesn't matter what you want, to make more money, to go for your new business, to lose weight or something. Don't let these thoughts destroy your progress, because if you let your old self creeping in, if you fall into default mode and all this self-doubt is coming up, it's easy to make the wrong decision in your new business, or to trust the wrong person, or to not make the right move, or to actually the one move you needed to take, or to feel sad and frustrated again and start eating again after you worked out for weeks maybe or months. So I know how this setback feels. So I encourage you from all my heart, stay in connection with yourself. Believe in you. I know there will be hard days, but remind yourself, if you allow your self-doubt to take over or something like that, it will destroy your progress. We don't want that. So, if you are still here, thank you so much for spending time with me. I truly appreciate you. I'm so happy to be with you. And if you want to support my channel, you could hit the like button, and you could write the word progress in the comment section. If you don't know what to say, just the word progress. Or if you have some questions, or if you want to say something else, I would be truly happy to read your comments and to interact with you. And until now, I wish you a wonderful day, night, or whatever.